to take a few deep breaths. All right, I'm going to read this little piece by Thich Nhat Hanh, and it's called I Am There for You. The most precious gift we can give others is our presence. When our mindfulness embraces those we love, they will bloom like flowers. If you love someone but rarely make yourself available to him or her, that is not true love. When your beloved is suffering, you need to recognize their suffering, anxiety, and worries, and just by doing that, you already offer some relief. Mindfulness relieves suffering because it is filled with understanding and compassion. When you are really there, showing your loving kindness and understanding, the energy of divinity is within you. And then there's a little saying underneath by Helen Keller. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but I can still do something. I will not refuse to do the something that I can do. And so what if that one something is just being more present and mindful with ourselves and our loved ones, especially right now when we're experiencing really challenging times? What if all we can do is bring mindfulness, a little more presence to our day-to-day, how we're feeling from moment to moment, how our loved ones are feeling, if we're on the phone with them or on a computer talking with them, really breathe deeply and look at them or listen deeply to them. Listen to feel what they're feeling. And that is magic. That is where the magic happens, because people can feel it when you're with them and when you're really truly present with them. Just a little something to think about. So I'm going to teach you a mudra today. This is called Avaya Mudra. It's thousands of years old, and it represents fearlessness and protection and peace. So we lift the right hand, so it's almost like us waving, and then we place the left hand palm up on the thigh. And you can even bring your thumb and your index finger together on that right hand so that just the three other fingers are pointed up. You might even see statues from time to time that have this mudra. And so I'm going to invite you to hold this if it's comfortable for you. If it's not, you can just have your hands on your lap. And we will start with combining the mudra with ratio breathing. So we're going to breathe in for a count of about 4 until the lungs are full, and then exhale through pursed lips for about a count of 8. Don't worry too much about the exact count. We're just trying to extend the exhale so that it's almost double the inhale. If your mind wanders, come back to the breathing and to the counting. Remember to give the mind something to do. If your right hand is lifted, go ahead and bring it now to your lower belly, and bring your left hand to your chest. And breathe nice full breaths here, filling up the belly space, the ribs, and the chest. And exhaling fully and completely with the mouth open. Again. Letting the hands rest right where they are. Come back to a natural rhythm of breathing. My offering for you today is one of cultivating a restful soul, a peaceful heart, and a settled mind. A restful soul, a peaceful heart, and a settled mind. Menuchat hanefesh, lev shalom, and Yeshuv hada'at. Really just a returning home to yourself. So let's come onto our backs and bring the yoga strap with you. And we will work with the legs. So bring the strap around your right foot. And then either straightening the left leg or bending it. Slide the shoulders down your back. And really flex the right foot. Really flex it. So I want you to reach for the sky with your heel. And take some breaths here. Just noticing how the leg feels. And then bring attention to your hip, that right hip, and the space between your hip bone and your lower rib on the right side. And notice if it has some space or if it feels a little crunched together. So you're going to shift your right hip down just a little bit toward the foot of your mat and create some length in the rib cage. So some space between the first rib and your hip bone. Holding onto the strap, go ahead and start to lower the straight right leg toward the floor. And then bring it back up. Exhale, lower the leg without letting it touch the floor. Inhale, bring it back up. Again, exhale, lower. Inhale, bring it back up. Good. Now take both straps in your left hand and start to cross your body toward the left. So you're getting an outer hip stretch. You really want to keep the foot flexed. And that's going to get that nice opening in the side of the leg and the IT band. And breathe here. Come back to center and then hold the straps in your right hand. And then bring your left hand to your left hip, or to your belly even, and hold the muscles of the lower belly in as you open up your leg out to the side. So you're going to open up into the inner thigh of the right leg. And we'll move in and out of this as well. So as you exhale with the tight, firm core, you're going to lift the leg back to center. As you inhale, you're going to open up the leg. Exhale, back to center. Inhale, open up. Exhale, center. And then inhale, open up, and then pause in a place where you feel the inner thigh stretch, but your left hip's still on the floor. So you don't want to have that left gluteal muscles lifting up from the floor too much. Breathe here. And then on your exhale, engage your inner thigh and come up to center again. And then one more time, we're going to cross the body just a bit and get into that outer hip. You can change hands for your strap. And imagine kicking like you're pressing your foot into the strap so that you create some length in your hip, some space in the hip joint. Good, and then come back to center. And then holding both straps, go ahead and make sure those shoulders are down away from the ears and give the strap a little pull. And then we'll release this side. So keep your right knee bent and just hug your knee in towards your rib cage or your chest and do some circles and some compression. So pulling on the shin, pulling it toward you, and then releasing a little, and then pulling it toward you. So you're compressing and releasing. Do some ankle rotations. Point and flex the foot. Good. And then take your left hand on your right knee and just guide your knee into a twist. Open up those arms. If this feels like too much of a twist right now, you can always put a pillow or a block under that right knee. As you breathe in, feel your right rib cage expanding, inflating, stretching out those muscles between the ribs. Good, and then bring the knee back and just straighten out both of your legs. And just check in with that right side that you just did all of this work with. Notice any sensations. Notice whether your right leg feels longer than your left leg. And now we'll switch over to the left side. So exact same start. We'll bring that foot, the middle of the foot to the strap. And then position your shoulders so they're not squished into your ears. And just stay here, pause here and take a few breaths and just notice. So we want to bring mindfulness and presence to the leg. And that creates sometimes some relief because you're noticing what you're feeling and acknowledging what's going on there. Flexing the left foot and reaching with your heel to the sky. And then start to lower the leg toward the floor. So you want to keep a firm core here. And then lift it back up. Exhale as you lower, keeping the foot very flexed. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So I'm just using my bent elbows and my hands to just help guide the leg and the straps up and down. One more time, lowering, and then lifting and holding there. Take both straps in your right hand and start to bring that left leg across your body until you feel an outer hip stretch, or wherever you feel it. You might feel it in your calf or wherever you're most tight. Full deep breaths here.
reaching that leg out of your hip socket and into the strap. Good. Come on back to center and change hands. And bring your right hand to your right hip and start to open your left leg out to the side, getting a little inner thigh stretch. And then bring the leg back to center. So you really want to keep your right hip stable, which is why your hand there is helpful. So you're not rolling up on the right side. Inhaling and exhaling as you move away from the midline of the body and back to center. Good. The next time your leg is out, go ahead and pause there. Re-engage your core so your lower back is stable and safe. On your next exhale, bring the leg back through center and then change hands and then do the outer hip stretch again. Think of stretching your leg away from your hip joint. So almost like you're pressing with the bottom of your foot into the strap even more. As you do that, you're going to feel your leg extend a little more. It's going to feel like it's lengthening. Go ahead and come back to center. Release your strap and hug your left knee in close to your body. Maybe clasping your hands over your shin and give it a squeeze. Really pull in and then gently release and then pull in and a little release. So we're pumping and compressing the hip joint. Good. Now do some ankle rotations. Pointing and flexing. And now take your right hand across your left knee and guide your knee into a twist. Open up those arms, gaze over your left arm, and breathe here. Really feeling the rib cage expand and lift away from the body as you breathe in. So when we do these kind of stretches, these mindful, slow movements, and when we do some twists, we help to encourage digestion, which often goes a little on the wayside when we're stressed out. So we're reinitiating the rest and digest or parasympathetic nervous system. Go ahead and come back to center and then extend your legs. So open up your legs so that they're flat on the floor and your arms are over your head and you're in a shape of an X, a human X. So that's in my way. Okay, so you're going to bring some stability back to your SI joint by reaching your right arm away from you without lifting it off the floor and your left leg away from you without lifting it. So you don't want to lift it. You just want to stretch like you're made out of putty or taffy. And you're going to stretch, stretch, stretch in opposite directions and then release. And change sides. Left arm and right leg are stretching, 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 and then release. And then go back and forth, alternating and releasing. A couple more times, stretching and releasing. Good. And just lay in the shape of an X now. And take a deep breath. Good. Bring your legs back to your core. Give yourself a hug. Rock from side to side. And then go ahead and take your time coming to your hands and your knees. So we'll stretch out the spine between cat and cow.
arching the back, and then rounding. Letting the flow of your breath determine the speed and the pace of your movement. And start to wag your tail and get into that rib cage even more. So I'm really exaggerating the side bending, kind of leaning into that side bend. And your body knows what it needs. So even as you're doing this, you might find that it feels better to sit back a little bit or rock forward, to let your head go. So we're going to pause in tabletop, so we're neutral spine. And I want you to put on an emergency. It's an emergency hula hoop. It's an imaginary hula hoop. And you're going to put it right at your waist. And then you're going to imagine you've got that hula hoop, and you're going to circle your hips and keep the hula hoop spinning. In one direction, it's like a magical slow motion hula hoop. And then pause and then go the other direction. Get that hula hoop spinning. You can go as slow as you want with this. Good, and then come back to tabletop. And then extend your arms out in front of you, but keep your buns lifted and just start to bring your chest and your head to the floor or to your block. And take a few deep breaths here. Straighten your arms a lot and reach with your fingertips out in front of you. Stretch out those muscles in the ribs and give some space to the diaphragm for nice deep breathing. And then start to sit back, buns towards your heels, and come right into child's pose. You might open your knees a little more if you need to. And let all the effort go. Take a moment just to rest here, just to notice what's happening in your body. To breathe in the intention of a restful soul. Breathe in a peaceful heart. And as your head is settled on a support, imagine that the contents of your mind are just pouring out of your head, just dissolving into whatever is beneath it. Just coming into a settled mind. Good, we're going to come on up to hands and knees again. So we'll keep this gentle. We won't do too much of it, but we'll activate the core just a little bit here with our bird dog. So if you need to be on your knuckles, you can, if your wrists are getting tired. We're going to pull the belly in. So we're going to avoid this sinking in the lower back. So you want to keep a flat back. And bring your weight to your right knee and just extend your left leg behind you. So you want to flex your left foot. We tend to lift the foot a little higher than it needs to go, which creates an arch in the lower back. So I want you to lift just a few inches. I don't know if you can look back there, but just a few inches, and really focus on the core pulling in, and as if you're kicking your back foot toward a wall behind you, like you're stamping your little footprint on the wall. And then check in with your shoulders. If you're sinking into your shoulders, I want you to press the ground away from you so you've got space between your shoulder blades. So our bird dog here. This is all I'm going to do today. If you want to lift your right hand and create a little counterbalance and a little challenge, you can. We're going to take 3 breaths here. And then release. Release your lower backs and maybe do some rounding. And then we'll take the second side. So you're going to lift that right leg and kick it back behind you. Pull your belly in. I'm on my fingertips now just to give myself a break. So the hip tends to want to open up toward the sky. You want to aim the hip bones, the frontal hip bones, straight down to the floor. Flex your foot quite a bit. Spread your shoulder blades apart. At this point, if you want to lift your left hand to create a balance challenge, you can. Otherwise, we're going to take 3 breaths. Good. Okay, release. Come back into your child's pose for just a breath or 2. All right, so we're going to come up to meet at the top of the mat with your block if you've got one. And we'll stand here in mountain pose. So look down at your feet and just notice the position that they're in. And then if you need to adjust them by bringing the toes to point straight forward, go ahead and do that. The legs are about hip width apart, which will be different for everyone. Shrug the shoulders up, back, and down a couple of times. Good. Let's inhale and reach the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Menuchat, hanefesh, restful soul. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Lev shalom, peaceful heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, dive forward, swan dive into a forward fold. Let your knees bend if you need to. Settled mind. Inhale, look up. Come up with a flat back. Reach the arms up and to the heart. Good. Let's give our feet some love today. So if you have your ball, go ahead and grab that. Bring it into your right foot. If you don't have a ball, as usual, you can just sit if you want and just do some pressure points, some thumbs into the arch of the foot and anywhere that needs it. Let's give our feet some love because we know that the foot is a mat for the whole body, all the organs and systems. So if we can bring balance to the foot, we can bring some balance to the body. Just get into any places that need it today. Good. Go ahead and take your foot off the ball if you were using a ball and just stand and take a moment to feel the effects of just that little bit of massage. And then we'll switch to the left foot. So massaging the feet with the ball or with the hands, it really helps to create a physical sense of groundedness. It's a sense of support, that we're really connected to the earth, that we feel our feet on the ground. That's why we hear that cliche or that verbiage a lot about keep your feet on the ground, feel your feet on the ground, because we need that. We need that so we can get out of floating in the headspace all the time and get back into the body. So even just doing something like this is very profound. Keep breathing. All right, so let the ball go off to the side. Once again, standing with the feet pressed forward, angled forward. Soften the knees. Do a little rocking. So we'll go right into, I think, some nice Tai Chi inspired movement today. That always helps me to feel more in my body, but in a very peaceful way. So I'm going to go sideways so you just see the angle of what I'm doing, like where my feet go. We're going to bend the knees and keep the belly engaged. And inhale, just start to rise up on the toes, and then palms float back down, reach back behind you. So depending on your balance, how long you can hold that on your toes, you might go a little faster or a little slower. But see if you can get all of those things, breath, rocking, and movement, and balance, all to come together to create a flow of movement that feels somewhat effortless. If the balance part, if coming up on your toes is just really not working for you today, you can just bend your knees and rise up, straighten the legs, and then press back. Or you can do a little bit of both. And let your hands settle by your sides. You'll want to have your block with you for our forward fold. So lots of forward folds today to help bring peace to the nervous system. So open up your legs. Nice and wide, point those toes forward. Bring your fingers to your hip crease. And so you're going to start to hinge forward. Just come halfway down to start. You'll get right into those hamstrings. I want you to think of those sits bones reaching back behind you. So you're tilting the pelvis forward, reaching back with your sits bone, coming halfway down. Block is good to have here. I actually don't have my block today. It's propping up my computer screen. I needed 3 blocks today for my computer. So we're halfway. And then start to let yourself come all the way down, forward fold. And release the weight of your head. So sometimes we think we did and we are still holding on. So tilt your chin, tuck your chin toward your chest, and then release it, and do that a couple of times. And then turn your head from side to side. Take a big breath and let it out through your mouth. Relax your shoulders. Good. We're going to press into the arms or the hands so we can straighten the arms and come halfway up again. And then just start to heel toe your feet in toward each other a little bit so you can hold on to those hips and rise up nice and slow. Good. Make some shoulder circles. Open up your stance a bit and do some really big hip circles.
So it's good to keep those joints moving and move them in different ways than you would maybe not normally do in a day. And if your days are kind of different than they were in the past, you might be moving your body differently. You might be holding it in ways that are not its usual patterns. So just moving everything you can. Bring your feet underneath you and do some ankle circles with your toes on the ground. So I've got ankle, knees, and hip all moving in different directions. Do circles in both directions. Good. Change sides. Good. All right, we are going to open up the legs a little wider than we normally would, but not as wide as for a like a forward fold. So just a little bit wider than maybe the mat, and a very soft bend of the knees. We're going to, I'll come closer so you see the hand movements. So we're going to inhale the palms up, and exhale, press the hands out. And then bring the hands back to the heart and take a moment there. Now let your hands fall down in front of you and make your wrists really soft, like really limp. So from the side, really, really limp. You're going to inhale, and almost as if you have like helium balloons under your arms, you'll lift the arms. It's like the arms are weightless. And then bring the palms towards you and kind of tuck your chin in towards your body. And then turn the hands out and press away. And then float the arms down. Soft knees. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, palms toward you, tuck your chin in. Press the hands away. And then float those fingertips down. Check in with your body. Is there anywhere in your body that's holding unnecessary tension? If so, see if you can soften the edges of your efforts. Keep your breath flowing softly and easily. It's like as if you were underwater, like in a pool or a lake, and you were moving underwater and trying very hard not to create ripples around you. Like noticeable ripples. That's how slow and soft we want to move. Good, really nice. Let's do one more. Pause there. Bend the knees, alternate the bending of the knees just to release the hips a bit, and come back into your gentle squat. We're going to hold like a beach ball. The same idea of the lightness of the arms. So move up and down with your arms and your elbows a little bit, like they're just kind of floating through space, and then let them settle. So a little more fine-tuning of separating heaven and earth. So we are going to angle that top hand up toward the sky, bottom hand down. Breathe in and stretch opposite directions. And as you exhale, float the hands back down to hold that ball. Think of holding a ball of light. Good. Bring the hands together. Slowly, they're going to cross paths.
And then you'll stretch the other way. Good. Exhale, float the hands back toward the wall. Good. And they're going to cross paths and change. Soften what you can. Settled mind. And you come down to the ball. Let your hands rest. And then turn both hands up at your waist. Restful soul. Hands to the heart. Peaceful heart. Hands to the head. Settled mind. And then bring your feet together underneath your body. Let your hands lie down. Just noticing the quality of energy in your body right now. Notice that you might feel a little slower. And things might be a little more settled. You could also feel, agitated because you're used to moving faster. Just noticing whatever there is to notice. Good. Let's come to our mats. Just we'll have a seat. And we'll bring the feet together and the knees out here like this for a little hip opener. You can hold on to your shins and start to hinge at your hip crease again. So noticing that my back is staying relatively flat and straight. It's very common to round through the upper back, so use your arms to help give you some support and hinge. Go ahead and come on up. If you have your strap nearby, you might want to use it. We will stretch those legs out in front of us. Feel free to sit on a little prop or an edge of the pillow if you need to help tilt your pelvis forward so that there's not too much rounding in the lower back. And I'll use the strap around my feet, and you can do that too if you'd like to. And we're going to just start to allow ourselves to fold forward until we feel a nice stretch wherever it is that we're noticing it. And we'll pause there and breathe. If you need to bend your knees a little bit, feel free to do that. If you feel in your lower back a lot, sometimes bending the knees can help. And then now you can let yourself round and release the weight of your head. Wherever you land is totally perfect. It's totally fine. Just breathe into the back of your body. This is a full back body stretch. Use your hands to help press your upper body back up. And then come onto your back. Bring whatever you use for Shavasana with you. Eye pillows, if you have that, your block, a blanket. And we're going to come onto our back. And I'm going to have you bring your block under your hips. So
So I don't have my block, but you're gonna lift your hip and place your block there. So you're in a supported bridge. This might be enough for you today. This effortless supported bridge, a little bit of an inversion, bringing blood flow back toward the heart and the lungs and the thyroid and the brain. This is a really nice little inversion. If you want to increase the benefits of the inversion, you can lift your legs up to the sky with the support of that block. Let your upper body rest. Bend your knees toward your chest and then release your legs. If you're just in a supported bridge, go ahead and slide the block out from underneath you. So I want you to walk your feet away from each other and knock your knees in toward each other. So this takes the pressure off of your back, your lower back. And we're gonna do a release of the neck here. So hands are by your sides. And then you're going to lift your right arm and look over your left shoulder at the same time. And then come back to center. And lift the left arm, look over your right shoulder. And back to center. Nice and slow. With the pace of your breath, your movement follows. This can help shoulders to release the neck. So you want to keep those hands really soft like we did with the Tai Chi. So really loose wrists as it floats through the side and then back to the floor. Last one. Let your hands rest by your sides. Good. Take your fingertips, bring them to your chest, so bring them to the center breastbone, and see if you can feel the spaces between your ribs with your fingertips, and just do a little massage in between the ribs, wherever you can feel them. So we're supporting the neurolymphatic points that help our immune system. So just massaging all those points, the whole length of the breastbone. It could be sore. Mine's pretty sore, and I haven't even done any push-ups. So you know, if it's sore, just give a little extra attention. And then get right underneath your collarbone where we usually do our 3 thumps, where we usually do our tapping. And either massage right under the collarbone, all around underneath to the outer edges of it, or do a little tapping and breathing. Good. And now take your right arm and bring it across your body. And then take your left arm and just hold on to that arm. So I'm going to sit up so you see what I'm doing, but we're just doing a shoulder stretch, but we're lying down. So you want to keep your right shoulder down away from your ear. Use your left hand or arm to gently pull that right arm across your body. Get a deltoid stretch. Breathe here. And then change sides. Keeping the left shoulder as much as you can out of that ear. See if you can lower it down a little bit. Good. Now release that. Take your hands over your, like in your gaze. You can see your hands, clasp them, and then reverse your clasp. So stretch those fingers out as your palms reach to the sky with your fingers interlaced. Breathe here. You might inhale, breathe, bring those arms back behind you a little bit, and then exhale, back to overhead. Inhale behind you, exhale, return. Good. Release your hands, shake them out. Take your right knee and cross it over your left knee, like you're in a chair and you're just crossing your legs. And then lift the feet off the floor. Put your feet lifted, and then start to spread those feet away from each other. So I'm going to try to grab hold of my feet here and kind of lift them up and toward me. So you're going to get into your outer right hip, or wherever you need it the most. So this is Gomukhasana cow face pose. It's the lower leg portion of the cow face pose. If you can't reach your feet, just hold on to your shins and gently pull the legs in close to your body while they're crossed. And breathe. Good. Uncross your legs. And then change the crossing of the legs, left over right. Get them nice and tightly crossed, and then bring those legs in close to your body, holding on whatever you can get a hold of. Breathing. Good. Release. Go ahead and bring the knees together and just hug your knees in close. And then take a final twist. So bring those knees over to the right as you open up your arms. Engage your core, just lift that top knee and then the bottom knee and twist to the other side. Come back to the center and then just check in with your body. Anything else that it might need before you come into your Shavasana. Any other stretches, poses, shapes, movements. Let yourself do that for the next minute or so, and then I'll ring the bell when it's time to officially settle into Shavasana. Because we had a late start because of the technical stuff, I'm going to go over by a few minutes, and I hope that's okay with you. If you need to pop off to go somewhere else, I totally understand. If you haven't already started to lay down and rest your body. Go ahead and get comfortable.
So feeling the bones of your body and letting the bones get really heavy. And then feel the muscles that are on your bones and allow the muscles to soften over the bones. And as the muscles soften over the bones, feel your skin also softening and relaxing over the muscles. And allow a warm wave of deep peace to wash over your head, settling your mind, over your upper body and through your heart, bringing a peaceful heart. And down through your arms and your belly, a soft peace washing through your legs, your feet, your toes, the whole body resting, recharging, rejuvenating in deep rest. And as your body finds peace, the soul also can rest. Begin to feel the breath moving through your nostrils. Begin to feel and notice the air against your skin, the surface beneath your body, feeling the weight of your body on that surface. And then inviting a little bit of movement to those fingers and toes, gently awakening yourself. And taking all the time you need to roll to your side and pause on your side for a few breaths before you rise up. So I'd like to leave you with an embodied prayer, a little chant that I wrote actually for our clergy and our staff. We did a staff wellness Sunday night, and I've just been using it to just bring all of this peace into my body, to cultivate it and into my soul. So I'm going to share it with you. The words are in Hebrew, and they mean restful soul, so Menuchat, hanefesh. Peaceful heart, lev shalom. Settled mind, Yeshuv hada'at. So even if you don't resonate with the Hebrew for the chant, you can just think these things and hum the melody if that works for you. So it goes like this. Menuchat hanefesh. Lev shalom, Yeshuv hada'at. I have returned home. Menuchat hanefesh. Lev shalom, Yeshuv hada'at. I have returned home. Menuchat hanefesh, lev shalom, Yeshuv hada'at. I have returned home. One more. Menuchat hanefesh, lev shalom, Yeshuv hada'at. I have returned home. May all beings everywhere have a restful soul. May all beings everywhere have a peaceful heart. May all beings everywhere have a settled mind. May we all be safe and loved. May it be so. Ken yehi ratzon. Shalom.
Shalom. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
That was beautiful, Kendra. Thank you.
Have a beautiful day and a beautiful week.
Thank you, Kendra. It was
Thank
great.
you. Oh, great. Nice to hear you, Donna.
Bye.
Bye. Take good care.
Thanks so much. We'll see you again.